What are the best freight locomotives America has ever built? Now, before we get into it, I want to be clear. This isn't just about horsepower. It's not just about which one looks coolest or which one has the most units in service. This is my personal ranking based on real data, reliability, impact on the industry, how long they lasted, how they changed freight railroading. Some of these choices might surprise you. That's fine. Drop your own list in the comments. But here's mine, 10 to 1. Number 10. We are starting with the newest kid on the block. The ET44AC is basically the current standard for American freight. If you see a brand new locomotive rolling out of the factory today, there's a good chance it's one of these. It's got the Chibo 12 engine, 4400 horsepower, AC traction, and it meets Tier 4 emission standards. Which, if you know anything about locomotive emissions, is a big deal. Way cleaner than anything that came before. The diagnostics on this thing are insane. It basically tells you what's wrong before it breaks. Predictive maintenance. So why is it only number 10? Honestly, it's too new. We don't know yet if it will last 30, 40, 50 years like some of the legends on this list. It's also crazy expensive to maintain if you are not working directly with GE. Complexity has a price tag. But right now, today, this is the king of American freight. It just hasn't earned the legacy yet. Number 9. Okay, this one's a nerdy pick, but hear me out. The SD60 was the first EMD locomotive with microprocessor control. That might not sound exciting, but it was a huge deal in the mid-80s. Before this, locomotives were basically analog machines. The SD60 brought digital brains to freight rail. 3800 horsepower, smooth power delivery, and for its time, pretty reliable electronics. It's kind of a bridge locomotive between the old school stuff and the modern era. Not the most powerful, not the most famous, but it pointed the direction everything else would go. I think it deserves more respect than it gets. Number 8. Now this one's fun. The SD45 came out in 1965 and it was ambitious, maybe too ambitious. EMD shoved a 20-cylinder engine into this thing. 20 cylinders, 3600 horsepower, which was massive for the 1960s. It was a beast on fast mainline freight. But here's the problem, 20 cylinders mean 20 cylinders worth of maintenance. It was fuel hungry. It was expensive to keep running. A lot of railroads loved the power, but hated the bills. So why is it on the list? Because it pushed the limits. It showed what was possible, and even it wasn't perfect, it influenced everything that came after. Sometimes the experiments matter more than the successes. Number 7. Alright guys, quick history lesson. For a long time, EMD basically owned the locomotive market. They were the default. GE was the underdog. The U30C and the U33C were GE's first real punch spec. 3000 to 3300 horsepower. Competitive with EMD, not perfect. The early electronics were a little rough, reliability wasn't quite there yet, but good enough to start stealing market share. Without these locomotives, GE doesn't become what it is today. They paved the way for everything that came later. The Dash 9, the Evolution series, all of it. Sometimes being first matters more than being best. This sounds like a fortune cookie saying. Sorry for that. Number 6. Okay, this one's historic. The F7 was introduced in 1949 and it played a major role in the end of steam locomotives in North America. I'm serious, this locomotive, more than any other, convinced American railroads that diesel was the future. Before the F7, a lot of people still thought steam had a chance. After the F7, game over. 1500 horsepower, which sounds tiny now, but it was plenty for the era. Reliable, efficient, you could run them in ABA sets for more power. They worked for freight and passenger service. The one big weakness? Visibility. These cab units had terrible rear sidelines. Crews hated that, but it didn't matter. The economics were too good to ignore. Without F7, modern freight rail doesn't exist. Period. Number 5. This is where AC traction really took off. The AC4400 CW came out in 1995 and it was one of the first widely successful AC traction freight locomotives. Before this, most locomotives used DC motors. AC was seen as experimental, expensive and risky. GE proved everyone wrong. 4400 horsepower, exceptional adhesion at low speeds. This thing could grip the rails like nothing before it. For coal trains, ore trains, long heavy drags, it was perfect. It basically revolutionized heavy haul operations. Made things possible that were impossible before. Higher cost, yes. More complex, absolutely. But the performance was worth it. This locomotive changed the game. Number 4. Now we are getting into the heavyweights. The SD70 series. Especially the SD70M and the SD70 ACE is the backbone of modern EMD freight. This is the locomotive you see everywhere. BNSF, Union Pacific, Norfolk Southern, SCX, thousands of them. The SD70M was DC traction. The SD70 ACE went AC. Both were workhorses. Around 4000 to 4300 horsepower. Excellent low-speed pulling power on the AC models. Comfortable cabs for those long shifts across the country. Later versions got complicated because of emission regulations. The Tier 4 stuff added a lot of complexity. But the core design, solid, proven, still running strong today. If you have watched American freight trains in the last 20 years, you've watched SD70s at work. Number 3. Okay, this one might surprise some people. The GP38 isn't a glamorous locomotive. It's not high horsepower. It's not a road warrior pulling mile-long trains across the Rockies. It's a 2000 horsepower, 4-axle machine built for yards, locals, branch lines, switching duty, the boring stuff. So why is it number 3? Because it refuses to die. These things were built in the late 60s and early 70s and they are still running. Short lines love them. Industrial railroads love them. Even some Class 1 railroads keep them around for switching. Low horsepower means low stress on the engine. Low stress means long life, 50 years and counting for some of these units. The GP38 proves that longevity beats raw power. Sometimes the best locomotive isn't the strongest, it's the one that just keeps showing up. Number 2. If the 90s had a default freight locomotive, this was it. The Dash 9 was everywhere. Every major railroad ran them. 4400 horsepower, DC traction, solid fuel efficiency, comfortable cab. It wasn't revolutionary, it was just really good at everything. Reliable, affordable, available. GE cranked these out and railroads kept buying them. For almost 2 decades, this was the standard, the benchmark. If you were running freight in America, you probably had Dash 9s in your fleet. It's the locomotive that proved GE wasn't the underdog anymore. They were the competition, maybe even the leader. Number 1. Was there ever any doubt? The SD40-2 is, without question, the most successful freight locomotive ever built, not just in America, ever, anywhere. Built from 1972 to 1989, over 3000 units produced. And here's the crazy part, a lot of them are still running today. Rebuilt, leased, sold to short lines, even still working for Class 1 railroads in some cases. Why? Because it was designed to be simple, reliable, easy to fix. The EMD 645 engine is bulletproof. The electronics were modular. For its era anyway. When something broke, you could swap it out and get back on the rails fast. It's not the most powerful, it's not the most advanced. DC traction limits it compared to modern AC units. But none of that matters, because the SD40-2 did exactly what railroads needed. For decades, without drama. That's why it's my number 1. So there you go, my top 10. If I had to sum it up, the SD40-2 is the greatest overall. The ET44AC is the modern king. The F7 changed history. And the GP38 proves that sometimes the humble machines outlast the flashy ones. This list isn't about specs, it's about impact, what these locomotives actually did for American freight railroading. Agree? Disagree? Think I'm completely wrong? Let me know in the comments, I want to hear your list. And if you want more content like this, deep dives into the machines that move the world, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.